One of Nigeria's former presidential candidates, Atiku Abubakar, is battling corruption allegations after a trending voice note by a certain former aide, Mike Achimugu. Achimugu, in videos, accused his former principal of looting Nigeria's commonwealth through hideous methods and has threatened there are more. As Nigerians raise their voices against these serious allegations, the PDP and Atiku's camp have insisted that their candidate is clean. We've heard from the people who demand investigations into the alleged special purpose vehicles being used by the former vice president. Today, we will listen to Atiku's camp as they insist that the PDP candidate should be distanced from such issues. Joining me live in the studios, Dr. Adetokunbo Pearse, who's a member of People's Democratic Party National Presidential Campaign Council. Good to see you. And I think it's the first time we're meeting this year again.
Happy blessed 2023.
Wishing you the same. And well, the campaigns are getting hotter. I think that's a better word to qualify it. Messier. I was running away from that.
Nah.
Yes, but what's really happening? You've seen that. I'm sure you must have heard or seen Mike Achimugu's videos, and those were actually damning, conversations. So.
Look, Sulaiman, again, take a good look at the video, listen carefully. The summary that Atiku looted the commonwealth and so on is totally out of context with the video. What the special purpose vehicle was, from Atiku's own voice, one, it was an attempt to avoid taking donations from companies directly by the political party, by the government, so that those companies will not hold the government a blackmail. Listen carefully. One, Atiku was clear to explain. No, that's number one.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a looting war. Where's the money? Which money? Whose money? Nothing like that. It was companies that wanted to make donations to the government, to the political party, actually, to the party. Everybody does that all over the world. You make, according to the law, you can make donations. Now, what are you looking for? In order to avoid commitment directly to those companies, Atiku said, don't pay to us. Don't pay to the party. Don't pay to the party. Pay into a company and let the company now, if they want to make a donation, make the donation. He was trying to avoid corruption. That is one. Number two, none of those companies listen to the tape. Atiku said, because the boy asked him the question, this company, do you know? Atiku said, but I don't know these companies. None of them belongs to me. They have done that. That's number two. Number three, all of these allegations coming up now is just diversionary tactic, because Atiku has been investigated from head to toe all around. So this case cannot even come to court. In the second place, INEC is not a court of law. It is not INEC's problem now to go and be probing into who did this, who did that. You understand me? So on so many grounds, this thing is totally baseless. It is a waste of time. If it wasn't for you and the caliber of your station, I would not even address the issue. People have called me from different TV stations. I said, look, it's not worth it. This is not the time for that. We are just a few weeks to election. Nigerians want to know what your party will do for them.
No, definitely. I'll come there. That's no gainsaying the fact that we're not going to allow you to talk to Nigerians on what plans your party has for them. But we need to take this off. As I say, in Africa, you cut the log that is on top before you get to the bottom.
Sure.
So we're just trying to cut this one so that before we get to the bottom.
Sure.
Lastly on this, so that we can move on. And your party, I think you seem to be the very first to have been able to go line by line by trying to speak to some of the voices we heard in that audio. At what point do you think there will be a collective or a robust, address to those issues by your party so that it stops coming in at every point that you go out to campaign?
The National Publicity Secretary has addressed the issue and has spoken to the issue in detail. But let me say this. In every election cycle, as you get closer to the election day, certain people become desperate. When you begin to see allegations so far-fetched, so fantastic, and then old stories coming up again and again at this point in time, you know they're not serious. I got to tell you something.
Yeah.
One, Kiamo is saying that Atiku should be disqualified. Now, on what basis? That is corrupt. I mean, is that what INEC will use to disqualify somebody? If that is the case, a lot of candidates, including his own principal, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will not be on the ballot. So that's not an issue. It is not an issue for the campaigns to begin to bring that up. The point is, the APC is so afraid now, so desperate, that the only way you can defeat Atiku is to get him off the ballot. If Atiku Abubakar is on the ballot, he's the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. They know it, and that's why they're saying, get him off the ballot. How are you going to do it anyway? It's virtually impossible. It makes no sense. We are not saying get Tinubu off the ballot, but I got to tell you this. Nigerians should load this today. And I'm surprised I haven't heard it from so many places. This is the most germane issue for us as we walk toward the election. The National Peace Committee, headed by General Abdul Salam Bishop Kuka, came together, gave a date. Every presidential candidate should come and sign this peace accord to say, we will abide by the rules, we will not promote violence, we will accept the results in good faith. Who did not come to sign? Bola Ahmed Tinubu. By that token, I am saying right now, and you will see I'm going to be proved right, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not qualified to run this election. He is not qualified to be on the ballot. If you don't sign that peace accord, that means you are ready for war. We are hearing rumors already that there's a Jagabana army being trained, being motivated, being armed to cause mayhem.
No, I think they explained that is for the campaign. Just for instance, you talk about the Lord's army.
It may be total rumor. It may be totally baseless. I don't even take it seriously because there's nothing anybody can do to disrupt this election. Because the people want an election, they want a change of government, and they want a peaceful transition.
Now let's speak about...
But anybody who didn't sign this accord is already implying, and Nigerians should realize and should be wary that there's a problem.
Dr. Pearse, let me jump in here. You spoke of the people now, which is very instructive. And let's go back to the Chatham House talk of the INEC chairman. And specifically, he said, young people, the youth, 39% of registered voters, that's a big one. And some are already saying that should make the PDP and the APC jittery because those young people perhaps are meant for the Labour Party.
Who said so?
That's the conversation.
Yeah. You see, look, young people By, I think, UNESCO qualification will be people up to the age of 45. You know, so you're not talking about children here. You're not talking about just 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds who probably are novices in this game, don't understand fully what's going on. You're talking about adults. And when they look at the issue, they're not going to say Labour Party, PDP. They're going to look at the candidate for president and say, what has this person got to offer? Secondly, what kind of character is this person? You know, I've heard a lot of stuff recently. I even heard my good friend, my brother, Rajiv Fashola, saying he's going to vote for Tinubu, and he was quoting all his good values. And I say this to you and to all Nigerians, that is values of 10 years ago. The Tinubu of today is not qualified to run for councillor. He's not well physically, he's not stable mentally, he doesn't know where he is or what he's saying, where he's going. So this whole thing is...
And some have also said the same of your candidate, asking him to declare his certificate of fitness.
Well, all of them should declare their certificate of fitness.
All of them.
Everybody. Now, but from what we can see, Atiku is very fit. That is what is going on now. If Atiku was falling all over the place and doesn't know he's calling his party APC, or he's calling his party action group, then we know we have a problem. So far, we have seen a very articulate, a very focused, a very intelligent, a very smart-looking, healthy-looking Atiku Abubakar. Therefore, it is not a major issue for him. It is the issue for a man who is wetting his pants, who cannot stand, who cannot talk for 10 minutes, who is calling all sorts of names, doing all sorts of things. Senile dementia has set in this man. Senile dementia. This is not a man that should, except for his arrogance, his unbelievable arrogance.
But you would agree that these are not proven by any medical...
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
So it doesn't look like what it is, does it?
Well, it may not. It looks like what it is. You know, there is a court of law and there's a court of public opinion. Me, I'm a son in the court of public opinion. I cannot go to court. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a doctor of philosophy in English, PhD in English. So, but I'm an observer. And I tell you, I talk to a lot of people. Go into the marketplace, go to the back streets of Lagos, they will tell you the same thing I'm saying now, that this man is senile. I just put the term, I read it somewhere, senile dementia. Dementia is where you don't know what you're saying.
And you know, politics, you qualified it, you took the word off my mouth by saying it's getting messier. And as it is, Nigerians would want to stay on the issues. And some of the key issues will also go back. I don't want us to gloss over it. I want us to also discuss it. It looks as if both parties, the ruling party and the big opposition, the PDP, are not speaking to the obedient movement. There is a movement.
What is the obedient movement? What is the crux of the matter? Look, Obi is a member of this political club which Ashwaju belongs to, which Atiku belongs to. Obi is no different from them. Obi was governor. Obi has been in the race since the 90s and early 2000s. Obi was a vice presidential candidate, could have been president if Atiku had won the president and he was able to continue. Obi is not a novice. Obi is not a saint. Obi is not new. And Obi is no youth.
Obi is not a saint?
He's no youth. There's no saint. Don't forget about that one. Obi is no youth. He is a middle-aged, older man just like all the rest of them. He's healthy, not like Tinubu, we know that. But, so, Obi has to tell the people what he wants.
Is he healthier than Atiku? Because you seem to know those that are healthy.
I don't think that's an issue. It is only when a candidate is not healthy that we bring it up. As far as I'm concerned, Atiku and Obi are healthy mentally, and physically. So that's not an issue for them. Now, Obi does not bring anything new to the youth except that he pretends to be a youth. He pretends to be...
Dr. Pearse,
yeah.
Obi pretends to be a youth?
Yeah, because he's appealing to youth people, whereas he doesn't have any principles.
Because perhaps he speaks to the issues that concerns the youth.
What are the issues he has spoken about? Tell me. How is it different from the issues that Atiku Abubakar is talking about? The issue is not about whether you are young or whether you are old. It is about what will prosper the country, what will move the economy forward, what will help us to secure our system, what will unify the country. That is what is important. And you're going to be surprised in this election. When you count the youth, so-called youth vote, you're going to find Obi wanting, because they're going to ask the question, what do you have for us? Are you a man of truth? Obi has been caught many times with telling lies, giving figures, it's a showman. And that is okay. It's okay. But you're going to find out on election day that people are going to be looking for more than speeches. What have you been saying all this time? Look, one of the things that I found with Obi and his running mate, they want to micromanage Nigeria. I've heard both of them say it 2 or 3 times. We need a president that can micromanage Nigeria. Obi is a micromanager. He doesn't understand the meaning of macroeconomics. Obi understands buying and selling, trading. He is not an industrialist. He's a trader. You do not need a trader, import-exporter, to run the economy of Nigeria. You need an industrialist. You need an economist. You need somebody who has set up industries and corporations internationally and nationally, not a petty trader. So, whether the youth want to stick with a microeconomist or they want to go with a macro, you want to stick with somebody who has tentacles and engagement across the country in every geopolitical zone, or you want to talk to somebody who is locked down in one geopolitical zone and may not even be able to win in that geopolitical zone. The youth is not a monolithic group. You know, for instance, I myself have been a teacher all my life. And because of the youth population that I deal with, I regard myself as always a youth at heart. Therefore, it's all about progress. It's all about unity. It's all about what is best for the future of the country. And that is what the youth, whether they are 19-year-old or in their early 30s and late 30s, are going to vote for. They are going to look at what is in their best interest for the whole country.
Okay, let's close on this. For the concerned Nigerian voter, especially those who will be casting their ballot for the first time, and if anyone should come to you to say, Dr. Pearse, I read Obasanjo's book, and he spoke, in dark terms, concerning your candidate. And today there's a Mike Achimugu saying something almost, similar to what Obasanjo had written about Atiku. How do I know the truth from these two versions if Atiku truly isn't corrupt?
Well, what I would say is anybody can say anything about anybody. First, you find out what's behind it. Secondly, you find out the circumstances. The one about Atiku, what's his name?
Achimugu.
Achimugu. What he has said, I have just analyzed it. It doesn't appear to me to be stealing money or anything like that. Now, secondly, in the case of Achimugu, this man, Atiku, has been investigated. That is all you can do. You cannot have double jeopardy. These cases can't even come to court anymore. It's just a waste of time. Okay? Now, as for Obasanjo, you should ask yourself, what could have happened between these two men who were partners in running this country? for one to now turn against the other to such an extent. Then you look at it. One, Obasanjo wanted a third term. Atiku opposed it. That was the main problem. Obasanjo wanted to rule like an autocrat. Atiku was vice president. Atiku said, you cannot do that. I'm a civilian and I'm a politician. I'm accountable to the masses in my community. You are a military man. You don't understand how this thing goes. So they have their differences. And by the way, you tell me somebody that Obasanjo has not spoken badly about. By the way, I read that book, My Command, I think it is, and I did a review of it, and I found that Obasanjo castigated everybody, from Jonathan to Yaradua, everybody. And one of the things about Obasanjo is he wants to be a king. In that same book, that's when I made up my mind that Obasanjo can never be a Democrat. He went on a tour to, I think it was Cameroon, I think it was Biya he went to see. He told Biya he is going to tired of these people. You know, politics is very difficult. People will challenge you no matter who you are. He was tired. He said he wanted to resign. When he got home, he wanted to just resign. And Biya advised him, kings do not resign. Kings do not resign. When Obasanjo got home, he saw himself as a king. That's when he said, I'm going to even go for a third term. Anybody who stands in my way, I'm going to get rid of them. Therefore, there is always a reason.
Yeah.
If I don't like you, I keep complaining about you, don't this, people should investigate. All young people should learn to be analytical, to be objective. Look at it from both sides.
I think we really need to stay on this now that the campaigns are getting closer. February 25 is almost here, and I do hope that by now Nigerians should speak to the issues again, and that's when we should be having you back again here on Politics HQ. Dr. Adetokunbo Pearse, many thanks as always for coming on the show.
And I'll be glad to be back.
Good.